2009, People Survival Fund, 2011, Environmental Education Awareness Act, and many more. And many of these laws we authored in my 3 terms in the Senate. These are laws that have been regarded as model legislation for other countries in the region and the world. But I acknowledge that we have yet to pass a law on sustainable consumption and production. That is why I filed on September 28 this year House Bill number 7609, or the Philippine Circular Economy Bill, which aims to promote a circular economy this year and a whole of nation transition to a sustainable future. I filed this with the intention of advancing the principles and strategies on the circular economy and sustainable consumption and production to serve as guideposts for policy and decision makers. This bill seeks for the adoption of product and services standards aligned with circular economy principles and the phasing out of single use plastics by all business enterprises 3 years after the bill takes effect. A phase out and transition plan shall be formulated within 1 year, which will be led by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources through the National Solid Waste Management Commission and in coordination with concerned agencies and stakeholders, including the DTI. A comprehensive life cycle assessment LCA program shall also be designed to ensure that the processes within the life cycle of goods, products, and services circulating in the market are ecologically responsive. This entails extensive research and development, formulation of regulatory mechanism, establishment of thresholds, creation of LCA laboratories, the provision of incentives for businesses conducting LCA within their operations. The bill also urges all government entities to establish their respective circular public procurement programs, which shall take into account circular economy standards as well as to integrate permaculture principles and practices in the respective programs, services, projects, operations. An incentives and reward system shall also be constituted by the Department of Budget and Management. This would, of course, be undertaken with the help from various organizations and stakeholders nationwide, recognizing the need for convergence to breathe life into all our policies and legislation. And as citizens and leaders in our communities and organizations, we should start by embracing the principles of sustainability and climate resilience on a personal or at least at the community level. We should be more mindful of our carbon footprint as our decisions and actions in our homes, place of work, or business in our communities have a corresponding impact on the environment and society. We do this despite the Philippines being just a small emitter of greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere, therefore contributing so little to global warming and climate change. But we do this because we know that this is the right thing to do. It can be done. But of course, our call for high emitting countries to take the lead in significantly reducing their greenhouse gas emissions from the burning of dirty fossil fuels will continue in order to ensure a pathway that would lead to a safer, healthier, and more sustainable planet. But as we hold this Consumer e-Congress, I would also like for you to define what a sustainable consumer is for you and what actions they need to take in order to raise awareness and inspire many others to follow suit. For me, it is about leading a lifestyle that generates as little waste as possible. For myself, I grow my own food. I have my own organic food garden. I recycle waste. I recycle bottles. I recycle plastic that can be recycled. And I recycle glass. So I could also limit buying groceries. In fact, I hardly buy groceries because I grow my own food, at least vegetables and fruits. And we must avoid patronizing the hyper-consumerist model that we have right now. We must also compost our food scraps to serve as fertilizers for our plants and our herbs. I implement my own law on proper waste segregation by segregating at source, recycling, composting, upcycling, adaptive reuse, those that I can, in order to limit or even have zero waste. There are, of course, many other sustainable practices that can be done. And I know that they do require extra effort from all of us. But it is precisely because we have gotten used to doing things the simple way that we forgot its impact to our environment. We might think that our little contributions will not go a long way, but it is precisely this very mindset that has enabled a culture of waste and pollution. Decades of unsustainable patterns of consumption and production have also led to the degradation of our health. Air pollution from industries, mobile sources, households, and vehicles emit that have caused high numbers of deaths due to heart disease and strokes, as well as respiratory ailments and cancers. Pollution from waste is also a perennial problem for our country. We generate about 30,000 tons of garbage per day, but only half is collected. In Metro Manila, only 70% of the 8,000 tons of garbage generated each day is collected. The rest often wind up on the streets, in canals and rivers. The waste that is collected is taken to open dump sites that often catch fire or contaminate local water supplies. And by the way, this is outlawed under RA 9003. Local governments responsible for the collection and disposal of solid waste material generally have limited capacity to plan, develop, operate, and maintain sanitary landfills and have difficulty in implementing ESWM. As I said, households can help by consuming less and recycling and upcycling more. This would really require a change of heart, a change of mindset, a change of lifestyle. The challenge for national and local leaders is how to manage waste in a safe, environmentally sound, and cost effective manner. If done well, municipal waste management practices can contribute to the reduction of GHG emissions of a city, also short lived climate pollutants such as methane that is far more potent than carbon dioxide. We have to mobilize our country's contribution towards a reduction in the emission of GHGs and its ecological footprint, which already exceeds its national biocapacity. The solutions actually exist, and we know exactly what needs to be done. Let us help bring about the necessary changes in our systems and behavior. Now is the time to collectively act to recover sustainably. Isang lunti ang Pilipinas sa ating lahat. Thank you very much, Undersecretary Ruth Castello, Secretary Mon Lopez, and to the DTI family.
Thank you. Maraming salamat po, Madam Speaker. Sana po walang pong kukontra sa mga nanonood po sa atin sapagkat para po sa mga taga-DTI at mga supporters ng micro, small, and medium enterprises, lalong-lalo na yung One Town, One Product, si Madam Loren po, ang ating spokesperson o ang boses ng maliliit na negosyante. Kaya nga po tayo nagpapasalamat sa kanyang pag-ibigay sa atin, sa kanyang pag-ibigay ng insightful presentation. You know, Madam Loren, Madam Speaker, we've been hearing a lot of your stories as DTI during the budget hearing in Senate as well as in Congress. We've been hearing a lot of your anecdotes on how your programs have impacted on the different communities all around the Philippines. I'm sure yung ating pong audience are very curious and likewise interested to hear this, ma'am, to hear these stories on your how you have assisted our different communities all over the Philippines, ma'am.
Yes, in fact, if I may, I take the challenge of Undersecretary Ruth Castello when she mentioned in her speech earlier first to file a bill so that even grade schoolers in public school system uh, may be educated on sustainable consumption. Hindi natin pwedeng ituro pag sila'y nasa kolehiyo na o pag matanda na. Kailangan ituro sa pamamahay, sa household, mayaman o mahirap, sa rural o sa syudad, kailangan ituro. Una, meron na tayong batas. Yan ang Environmental Education Awareness Act. Pero ito'y broad at ginawa ko yan more than 10-15 years ago. Pero kung tutulungan niyo ako mag-draft ng Sustainable Consumption Bill, nakafocus sa pagtuturo sa bata, pati na rin sa minsan matitigas ang ulong matatandang magulang. So this can actually be made part of my circular economy bill. Pero kung matagal pang mapasa yun at mas simple at focused ang sustainable consumption, pagtrabahuhin natin, ngayon meron kaming a few week session break so that I file it and then it's referred to the appropriate committee on November 16 when we resume. And hopefully we can pass it during my term as Congresswoman. Okay? Number 2, ay sana ang ating mga participants at kayo ay ipatupad natin ang ecological solid waste management. Dahil una, may pera sa basura. Pangalawa, ay ito'y makakabuti sa ating kalusugan. Pangatlo, ito'y makakaganda sa ating kapaligiran at sa ating kalikasan. Kaya dapat zero waste, hindi lamang para sa mga environmental advocates, kundi na rin para sa ating sariling kapakanan. Kaya I accept the request or challenge of Undersecretary when she said, I hope she can be our champion. While I am extremely busy and I do work not just in my district province of Antique, as a congresswoman, I guess my friends and all of you in government still regard me as senator. So it seems like my work tripled because you treat me as senator. So I have so much work nationally, even with the agencies of government. I'm not complaining, but I enjoy it and I'm happy to share all my knowledge and experiences. Pero naparami. So I accept your challenge for me to be your champion for sustainable consumption. Give me your assignments and I will help out.
Wow, thank you, Senator. I'm getting misty because finally somebody's hearing us, ma'am. Thank you.
Of course, I've heard you long ago, and as I mentioned earlier, all my laws put together actually converge into sustainable consumption. But perhaps we can be more focused and exact by filing that bill, and even if it's not yet enacted into law, to go into IEC, Information, Education, Communication, and actually teaching communities. So what we could do is file the bill and embark on a massive IEC on social media and even on traditional media where I came from before I joined the Senate. And third, to pilot it in heavily populated, high consumer barangays in Metro Manila and select it in other cities and municipalities as well. So that when there's a proof of concept and we teach them how to do it, they can see that it can be done. So those 3 tracks, my staff are actually online and they're taking notes. And this is what happens when I become a speaker. It's not speak and go. I end up doing more work than what is expected of me. But I am happy because I heard Undersecretary Ruth say that I wish she could be our champion. I wish she could file a bill. I wish. So your wish is my command, and I will be your champion for sustainable consumption. We will continue the circular economy, and we will file a bill and do model barangays. In fact, We can even have this lengthier discussion in my weekly webinar called The Stories for a Better Normal, and have examples from your audience today and the MSMEs and stakeholders, examples of sustainable consumption para maintindihan ng tao. And then we can translate it in Filipino and other major languages and dialects in the country para maintindihan ng mga tao, at gagawa tayo maybe ng animation na video or even a real life 1-minuter para makita, ito palang ibig sabihin ng sustainable consumption, because not many people can even spell sustainable. Not even everyone can speak. Say, ano ba sustainable? Tagalogin natin, simplehan natin, ibasaya natin, ikinarayaan natin, Ilocano natin, para maintindihan, ito pala, okay, papakita ko sa inyo. Give me 1 minute, give me 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am, we will wait. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
For example, this is what I carry in my bag. Ito'y gawa ng aming mga ati sa Hamtik sa Antique. So ito ay gawa sa bundok ng aming hindi man lang micro-enterprise, nano-enterprise ng aming mga katutubay, maliit pa sa micro. Ito yung gawa sa, hindi naman itong bariw. I think this is, let me see. This is not bariw, this is not, I'm not sure kung anong weed ang ginamit nila. We grow bamboo in Antique, so I don't use disposables. I always reuse, at ito ang aking bamboo utensils. So, ang DTI maraming ganito because palagi kayo nagre-regalo sa akin. In fact, kahapon may regalo naman ang Fame sa akin ng mga micro-enterprises. It's just an example. For example, this is my breakfast, a banana. Hindi ko po itatapon itong banana peel kasama ng aking tissue. Meron akong lalagyan ng tissue at binabaong ko po sa lupa ang mga tisyong sama-sama. At ito pong balat ng saging ay hindi ko po itatapon kasama ng tissue, ibabaon ko po sa lupa dahil ito po ay nagiging compost or organic fertilizer. So, anong ibig sabihin po yan? Circular economy, di ba po? Ito'y isang produkto, manufacture dito, pero babalik sa lupa. Ito po ay galing biyaya ng kalikasan, kinakain ko po, pagkatapos yung balat ay itatapon ng ayos. Ang papel rin po, itong mga papel na ito, galing pa sa Senado, sayang naman, Senator Lauren Legarda. Pero back and forth gagamitin ko, pagkatapos po gamitin baliktaran, titimbangin po, ibebenta or gagawin namin mga recycled na mga bag. Ito'y naman hindi kaiba, marami sa inyo mas magagaling pang ginagawa. Ang magandang ehemplo ng aking mga batas sa Barangay Holy Spirit sa Payatas, Quezon City, maraming informal settlers, dating dump site, pero magaling yung kapitan at yung kagawad ay riniresikulo nila ang lahat ng kanilang dumi at kumikita ang mga tao. Ang isang barangay din na dating marumi, ang Barangay Potrero sa Malabon, kung saan ako nakatira dati, ay maraming informal settlers pero nanalo ng Clean and Green Award sa kanilang pagre-resikulo. I've said too much, but yes, I will join you in your advocacy for sustainable consumption.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. We are indeed honored to have you today. And we're so blessed and lucky that you were the guest speaker, ma'am. Madam Deputy Speaker.
Nandito lang po ako. Alam naman ninyo ang aking suporta sa DTI dahil kayo ang nagpapatupad ng aking batas ng MSME. At kayo ang nag-i-implement ng napakahalagang programa ng shared services facilities para sa ating mga micro-enterprises and small enterprises. Kayo ang nag-i-implement ng One Town, One Product na matagal ng programa na minsan hindi zero ang funding, hindi pinapansin pero napakahalaga. Kayo ang nagpapatupad ng napakaraming mga programa na dapat suportahan sa Bureau of Domestic Trade, sa SITEM, sa FAME, at sa marami pang iba. Because you're the engine of our economy. And so as we restart the economy, let's make it a correct restart, a green, resilient, healthy, safe restart. We cannot go back to before. Balik na tayo. Okay, bukas na. Dating gawi. Yung dating gawi po ang nakadulot ng pandemya. Yung dating gawi ang nagdudulot ng dengue. Yung dating gawi ang nagdudulot ng kanser, ang nagdudulot ng sakit at ng kamatayan. Bakit natin gustong bumalik sa dating gawi? So, mismong nature na ang huminto at nagbigay sa atin ng pause at great reset. So, binigyan ng pagkakataon ng kalikasan ng Panginoon ang buong mundo. Never in our lifetime could we have imagined the world to pause. But it had to pause to survive. And so the birds started singing. Now we breathe fresh air and we see blue skies. Are we going to destroy it again and make it gray and kill the birds and destroy our rivers, which are the life-giving waters of life? No. And so being the department in charge of trade and industry, to mainstream sustainability in everything you do is the greatest legacy that all of you, especially led by Secretary Mon Lopez, who's celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday, Sec Mon. So I've said too much. I don't know if they have another question.
We definitely found our champion, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, and be blessed. Keep safe. Congratulations to DTI e-Congress. And I'm just a call, a text, a Zoom away, and see you in person in better times, which will be soon. Bye.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Have a nice day, ma'am. Thank you.
A few more minutes, ma'am. Madam Speaker, hope you can spare us a few more minutes to answer
Yes.
questions from our audience.